All right, welcome back to another episode of the B Team. We got Mikey over there.
So,
He's above me, so I'm gonna point up. We got Muller down here. Uh, week 11 recap. We got Mortals. We got lots to talk about. I want to start off the show, if you wouldn't mind. Let's start off with Monday Night Football.
go
Real,
ahead. Come on.
or do you want to start with the Internet Invitational?
Let's talk that first. We'll get that out the way, and then we'll get into the football stuff. Um, just my initial thoughts. It's funny that like we're just talking about this anyways, but I've had some downtime in the hotel. When you're out coaching and whatnot, and I was watching it, and number one, like my biggest takeaway was the format itself was fantastic. I loved the alternate shot, the scramble, the teams, how they drafted, all the content creators there. Like, and again, I'm not the biggest like Barstool person, like I find them a little bit douchey, I guess. But I'll tell you what, like the way they set that up was fantastic. A lot of good competition, and the courses were magnificent, absolutely beautiful. But dude,
Big C Mirage.
Brad Dalkey is a problem. That
Problem.
was my first. That I think that was my second time watching him. I watched. It was a Joel Damon going through the gauntlet, so it was like him going through good gauntlet,
Yeah.
and I think he was the last one. But I just, I never really good's not like the one I gravitate towards, but now definitely for sure. But man, Brad Dalkey, holy hell! And apparently he played in the Masters, which I did not know.
Yeah.
Something
No,
like
he
that.
he was a full-blown pro. Like he played in the Masters. I think he won the USAM, like played in college. Dude, he is really good. Like I think he could step out there and probably make it as a pro, but he's got to be doing so well as a YouTube golfer. I saw somewhere that he made like 500 grand the last like 6 months doing YouTube golf because of this, because of I think it was Creator Classic, all this stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so if I honestly looking at that side of it, yeah, I get why he's not trying. I mean, why would you if you're doing this well? But dude, he's a problem. And the fact that he basically carried Francis and Beef. Shout out to Francis and Beef, by the way, because Beef early on was dialed in that final round. Francis, that swing's ugly as hell, but my God, does it work for the guy. He sticks things to like a foot. It felt like every big shot that he had from like 120 in, he just stuck it. It was fun to watch. I like you said, I really like the format. I think playing the short course was incredible.
Yep.
It was like an added element to it.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, when you see those type of videos where it's 3 hours long, 2 hours long, we post hour-long videos, 45 minutes, 50, sometimes hour and 10, but like 6 episodes of 2 straight hours of golf and whatnot, like it's a lot to watch. And I'm actually glad I did because you learn so much about like the people who, put their content online about golf. But back on Francis and Beef, like when they made up those teams, immediately in my head it was like this team's gonna win. Like for some reason they thought it was unfair and they swapped Francis for Mo.
Yeah.
I think that was a big mistake on Paige and Frankie's part, but Francis really impressed me. It is a damn ugly swing, but dude, he was hitting his 4 iron like 260. Like he was destroying the ball. I'm like, yo, this dude could play. And then you sent me him like eating the whole pig. Like I'm like, yo, I like this guy. Like he's a good one. But Beef, RIP to Beef as well. Like
Yep.
it was sad, man. Seeing like obviously that was probably taken that those videos were probably taken long ago, months ago, and making it a a thing for Beef at the end like that was really special. Like even him getting emotional, winning that money and being like, yeah, I'm going to donate to charity and pay off my parents' house. Like it's really sad, man. And like obviously we've had our thoughts about it, but when you see the kind of person he was, it's like damn, like it's that's a friend of theirs. That is a son of his parents. A parent's son. I don't know if he was a father, but it was crazy. And that team worked out so well because you had Brad who was just an absolute dog off the tee. You had Francis who was dotting like 100 yards in, 120 into the green, and then you had Beef who was honestly hitting one of the was hitting putts the whole tournament. Not
Yep.
even with not even with those guys, but the other guys that they played with. Josh Richards, and then he played with someone else. He was hitting putts all tournament long.
Mhm.
Um, and like obviously the stuff with Mo and Paige and all that, like it was just
Yeah.
fun. Like
So I
it's
wanted to get into
entertainment.
that. I want to get into that because so the Melosi thing, I think the video, it's it's not like 100%.
But this is my question
But
though. Like, can you switch? Okay, so you saw how like he had the rangefinder on the side. Like, you can't switch the slope on the side. You have to click the button on top, correct?
no, no, it's a switch on the
It's a
side.
switch up. Oh, you see, I didn't know that.
It's like a
Usually, like,
safety. Like yeah. So
that's
like
suspect, bro. He definitely had it
that's what
on then.
that's what I mean. Like it's he might not have, but going in like first thing you do after hearing they're gonna check is you pull it off, act sketchy, put it behind you, and then you switch it back out. You're like, oh, what are we doing? What like I think that's I'm not saying he cheated, but it seemed like he pretty damn well cheated. The Pete Sporanic one was the more like crazy scenario because
So
of what she
hypocritical.
said literally like 10 minutes earlier to Francis, where it's like, oh, you clearly haven't played uh
Yeah,
competitive
competitive
golf
golf.
very
Yep.
much. And then she goes out there and just stomps around the high grass.
Uh huh.
Just perfect line to the green from Melosi. Like, come on,
Uh
Paige.
huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like the whole tears thing. I thought that was
Yeah.
a bit much.
Well, I mean, Dave had money on, the other team, and then Whitley had money on Frankie and them. And like they were just, I mean, it was a big deal because it was being talked about. It was just so funny that like she just started crying, but she was kind of dialed. Like she was playing well. I thought I mean, it was a good team overall, but she was lights out on the tee box once the short game came about. But oh, it was so funny, like towards the end, where like Frankie had that chip to just like get it close and tie it, and he just skulls it into the water.
Butter
I'm like,
knives returns.
yeah. I'll tell you what, Frankie has a very nice fluid swing though.
Yeah.
Like he just couldn't hit his driver. That was his only big problem.
Yeah. Well, he used to be butter knives. That's what they used to call him. So
Front
that's
nine
hilarious
Frankie.
that came back out. Um, no, but at the end of the day, this was a Barstool event. It was a Barstool production and video.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know Bob Does Sports is a big part of it, and this was their internet invitational. At the end of the day, it was being paid for by Dave. It was being basically done by Barstool. It was going to be Barstooled up the whole time. And if any of them thought coming into the last round, like one, that money wasn't going to be put in a very, very big way on one of the teams for Dave against somebody, like they're crazy. If they thought Dave wasn't going to make comments the whole time and get in their head along with others because it's
Hmm.
Barstool, you're crazy. And I think that's one thing that you're going to see in the next one because it sounds like they're going to keep doing it now. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. You're going to see who can handle that heat from the Barstool realm the best because there's going to be people that either aren't asked back or say no.
Hmm.
Like and I could see Paige being like, I can't go back.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, again, like you got $1 million on the line. I mean, I think you would be stupid. Now, the only person I don't see going back is Luke Kwan, like that because of what he
Well,
did and
Luquan's not
everything.
getting invited back because Dave is going to
Yes,
fight him. But
yes.
the Paige sporadic stuff, my thing is, so it's not so much what happened at the event and in the video. I think like that stuff's one thing. I think it's the after effects. You have the Rico riders out there. You got Big T's Mafia and all these different, minorities within the Barstool realm who are ride or die for their guys. You know, like Davy Day traders, all of that. I'm sure that they were just coming at Paige Sporanic.
Hmm.
And like
Yeah.
they're probably in her comments. She's getting a ton of hate. I know she released a couple videos and like, listen, doesn't deserve that. Any other YouTube video, I think it was who's the British guy?
Rick Shields,
No, the other one.
Peter Finch.
Yes. He was like,
Funny as hell.
no, I like his videos.
One of my favorite guys that was on there because I was laughing at, and he was a damn good player too.
Yeah. Yeah, but even he says like if this was a normal YouTube video and it wasn't like a Barstool done up video for $1 million, what Paige did's a nothing burger. Like no one gives a shit. No one's saying anything,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But it is, and there's a million cameras around. It's similar to what happened with Jamar Chase this week, where he like called a spade. Almost every camera caught him spitting onto who was
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey, right? And I don't know why Jamar Chase was like denying it and acting like it never happened when there's 40 cameras around. Like the fact that he just found out that NFL games have like 40 cameras at them is crazy. But so hopefully it doesn't happen again. But it's similar for this Paige Spanick and Melosi stuff. Like there was so many cameras at these events. Like
Yeah.
you simply can't get away with it, especially when you have the Barstool guys there that are going to be like, we're reviewing that. We are going to call you out. And, the penalty is not going to ruin this event, but it is going to make you cry.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's, you know, it was getting to the point, in that, it was a final round. Like, you kind of have to just watch what you're doing. And, like, even when she said, you must have never played competitive golf before. And then she does that, knowing that's probably most likely against the rules in any other format. Just a bad look. But again, $1 million on the line. For me, the way I look at it, though, it's like, I didn't watch for the Barstool guys, really. I watched for, I think Bob the Sports has a much bigger influence than, the Barstool's guys themselves, in my opinion. Them, Grant, obviously good. And like Barstool was just kind of the host at the end of the day. It's not like those golfers were going out and winning. They were really just there to just host the event.
Yeah.
But yeah, the competition was great. And even, I thought Bob's team, even with Luke Kwan, like I thought they were going to be moving on by far. I mean, I thought he had much better players, FP, Joey, Luke Kwan, Grant, Garrett. Like I was shocked. And then, one of my favorite teams to watch in that was Berkshire and that Gabby golf girl team.
No, dude.
I thought they were excellent. I thought they were a great team. I thought Kyle was exceptional, dude. He is a dog, bro. He's so good.
But entertainment value, dude, annoying as fuck. Along with who was that Winter girl or whatever her name was? Sarah.
Oh, Sarah went. Oh, that was bad.
Holy shit.
Her and DOD.
Dude. Hey, Mike.
Fuck that guy. That guy stinks.
Who?
DOD.
Oh, DOD's horrible. DOD's horrible. But
yeah.
But that Sarah Winter or Sarah Summers, whatever her name was, like constantly telling Chaz, "You're him. You're him. You're gonna do this, Chaz." And it was every hole.
He's a real MVP.
He is, because he had to put up with her that whole day. So yeah,
dude, okay, we want to say that Dalkey probably played the best, bro. Chaz was not missing a fairway. He was incredible. He put himself on the map because of Barstool and how he played. He played incredibly. It was watching him and Sarah play against Frankie and Bubby. It was like, straight lights out. If Sarah didn't ruin that par 3 tee shot, they probably would have beaten them.
Yeah, probably. I liked at the beginning when Chaz like striped it for the second time, and Dave goes, "Dude, this guy's unreal. Like he's got like we got to get this guy on tour." And they're just like, "Well, he is one player on
Little Man tour
or whatever it is." And he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, of course he is."
It was funny when Andrew Santino was like, "Oh, it's a good little swing there."
He's like, he's got a good little swing.
He's like, "Nah, I didn't mean it like that." They were also a fun team to watch because they actually played well too. Like everything about it, like I just liked how there was a lot of content. And I sound crazy. I sound like such a douche saying it, but like it was very good content because you had so many different teams. You had so many different personalities. The Jet and Wesley, or the Jet and George Bryan playing together. Wesley and Bob playing together. The Duke, Duke and
the Duke is awesome.
Oh God, that guy! Like it just screams Staten Island.
Do you hear what happened at the final round with the Duke?
No.
All right. So the Duke came up to Dave and was like, I hear you have a big bet. And somewhere along those lines. And Dave was like, yeah, with Whitney and all that. And he goes, well, I can't make that big a bet, but I would love to bet against you. Let's line something. And Dave was like, what do you want to do? So they did a whole bet. And obviously Dave won. And the Duke was like, all right, well, I can't pay you that money, so I'll give you 5,000 Duke
And
coins on my
promos.
website. Yeah.
Okay, no, I did see that. Yeah, you could just tell the people just did not want to play with him. Like it was the one dude, I think his name was Chandler. Like when they were together, you could just tell he was like, "Damn it!"
He
He's like,
was
"I do not want to be here."
I did feel bad for that guy because he was miserable. And at one point he goes, I'm getting secondhand lung cancer sitting next to
Yeah,
me.
that's a tough round. It's nothing on the guy, but like, yeah, it's a tough round. Like you know how it's gonna be. You're just
Yeah.
like, okay, I just got to try to carry and hope he does something.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah, that
no,
those are my thoughts
all
on
in
the
all, it was a
Invitational.
great video series.
Yeah,
Like it was made like a movie. It was awesome. It's something that like I'll probably end up just like watching again one time.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but all right, you want to get into some football?
Yeah, Dallas. So talk to me about
All
Dallas.
right. Yeah, let's talk some Monday Night Football. So, um, first off, I'm really happy with our defense. I want to say thank you to you specifically.
Told you,
Keenan Williams, 1.5 sacks in 2 quarters.
dog.
Believe he
I
only had
told
one
you.
sack his whole season with the Jets. DeMarvion Overshone back, healthy, moved around, got through the game. Very good. Ravel, same thing. They kept Ravel out there for the final series of right before halftime, and he really held his own. He looked good. Besides the one holding call, which really was nothing at the end of the day. It didn't turn into anything. Um, I thought the new additions influence, and I know Ravel and Overshown aren't really additions, but they kind of are coming back from injury. That defense just looked a lot better. They looked a lot more capable. They got to the quarterback a bunch of times. They were able to shut down the passing game. They didn't let Ashton Genty get going. And it's one of those things where we haven't seen that ever this year. And maybe there was a change in philosophy with Eberflus, or maybe, it's Deron Bland, Kalen Carson, Ravel, stepping up finally. You have the linebacker room it got pumped up. The D line got pumped up. That 5-man front, I mean, they looked fantastic. And then the offense, I mean, we got to address this. One of the funniest storylines and very embarrassing for the Raiders. So CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens clearly went out the night before in Vegas and, got a little banged up, came back late, got caught, right? We all know what happened. Those two fucking went off, Mike. They were
Wait, is that true? Did they actually go out?
it's all the signs are pointing to that. Supposedly CeeDee Lamb looked exhausted. So and
Oh,
George Pickens,
jeez.
like and honestly, like
So disrespectful to the Raiders, bro. Because then they also pretty much blew them out too. Oof,
yeah,
bad look.
dude, George Pickens went 9 for 144 and a touchdown. He has the second most yards in the league right now behind JSN. And
Yep.
that's not a knock on CeeDee Lamb either, because I think he went 5 for 66 and a tud. Like it was a great offensive performance. Dak Prescott looked good. The run game looked good. The O line was solid. Jake Ferguson obviously gets a touchdown. Um, yeah, like it was a complete Cowboys performance, which we haven't had ever this year. The offense is back to clicking. The defense looks good. But this is the real test coming up here. You know, Philly in Philly, they're going to be wearing their Kelly greens. Can the Cowboys show up and not just, put a good performance together, but make a statement? Can the defense go out there and make a statement? I think that they're going to be I think the defensive line is going to be solid now with the new additions that we have. Kenny Clark, we got Keenan Williams, we got the
Went
guys
in.
in there, and they're all playing for one main purpose now. Where, you know, Marshawn Nealon, the passing, they going through that and losing a teammate, you know, some of them losing a best friend on the team, like that's a heavy thing to carry with you. And, like the leadership of this team and the way Schottenheimer led the team this week, um, like I think it really showed in that game. And I think we're going to see that throughout the rest of the season. And I think the Cowboys could go on another tear. We saw this 2 years ago. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I think we could easily go on to win almost all of our last games, maybe lose one or two on the way and sneak in as a wild card. It's a long shot. There's a lot of 7-win teams right now in the NFC. We're sitting at 5, I believe. But I think it's possible. That defense looks so promising. And I'm
And
gonna have one more point, but I want to get your thoughts on what you saw.
I mean, I think this was a big game for the defense. I agree with you. Like, you go into Vegas, you're playing the Raiders, they're 2-7, now probably 2-8, 2-9. Like, that's a game you got to dominate. You got to make that. You can't let them hang around. You can't play down to their level. You need to go out there and you need to just dominate and get the business done. And what did I Quinnen Williams, by the way, not Keenan Williams, Quinnen.
My bad. Yeah, yeah, I just met the guy.
You just met the guy, but seeing that was like the one. Funny enough, that was like one of the few plays that I saw was him get a sack. And dude, I told you, bro, he is a dog. Like he is such a good. Jerry Jones wanted him for a reason. This is not the first time where he's trying to make an acquisition to go get it. This is probably the second time he's done it. So having a guy like him in the interior, you know, having an offense, because again, when you're on the Jets, the defense is on the field 75-80% of the game, 90% of the time. He is so good as a run stopper. He's so good as a pass rusher on the interior. It's such a good job by Jerry Jones. Like, and listen, yes, you gave up a first, yes, you gave up a third or whatever. Like, he's just that good of a player. Like, Jets fans will tell you this. Like, not everyone knows about Quinnen Williams and how dominant he actually is. Dude, you could look at the numbers when he was with the Jets. I don't want to get off topic here, but again, they're on the field all the time. Like, the offense doesn't do anything. You can't expect him to go out and get freaking a sack every defensive possession when you're having at least 20 of them. Like, he is such a good player to have, especially for the Cowboys defense, which they needed. They needed a piece like him. You ship off Micah, you bring in Kenny Clark, you bring in Quinnen Williams. Look what it has done. Agenti had 7 yards, bro. Like, clearly the formula worked. So when it comes to the defense, I thought it was a very good way to see what works for Eberflus. Against an okay O line, Agenti, Brock Bowers containing him, still had a pretty good game, but you get Overshown back as well. Like, it's really good to see them starting to get healthy and it's starting to gel a little bit. I feel like before, the secondary was they're missing people, they're not playing to their abilities. It takes time. But again, the offense, if we're going on the offensive side, they're dominant, dude. They're a dominant offense. I just think this was the perfect time to get such a dominant win because now you do go into Philly. Now, Philly's having their struggles on offense. They're continuously getting wins. The defense has been showing out for them. They're very balanced where offense will play bad, defense will pick them up. Defense plays bad, the offense will pick them up. At some point, it's going to give and it's going to bite them in the ass. And Dallas can do it. And I don't know who I'm going to take yet, but I think they're really starting to find their form at a very good time. And you got to give credit to Schottenheimer. You got to give credit to him using the pieces that he has. I mean, again, we talked about it for years, Mueller. They need a wide receiver too. Look what happened. Listen, they're still 4-5-1. Okay, we're talking about them like they're 8-3. They still have a lot of work to do, but they can win games when you have pieces like Pickens. When you have a guy like him, not a Brandon Cooks, not a Jalen Tolbert, not a fucking God knows who else. You got a real receiver. You got two guys. They copied the Cincinnati formula. Besides the defensive part, they copied what they do on offense, and it has clearly worked. And I'm happy for you. I'm happy for the Cowboys themselves because listen, it's been kind of hell for them recently. They lost to the Packers in the first round, of course. Like it's been tough. It's been tough on Dak. It's been tough on Jerry. It's been tough on CeeDee. So seeing them get that win was huge. And listen, I agree with you, man. I think they can. Next week's going to be a tough one in Philly. You know how that goes, but they could get on a roll, man. Listen, I would be happy if they lost 28-27. If they play hard, don't roll over, Listen, it is what it is.
Alexa just trying to get in on the pod.
Telling you to shave the stash and everything. Like,
Great.
please take that
Great.
off.
She likes it. She likes it.
Don't
All
let her
right.
lie to you like that, bro. Please.
So, um, all right, last thing, and then we can move on. I like what you're saying about the moves that Jerry Jones has made. He catches a lot of heat. I came out on this show right after the Micah Parsons trade, and I said it wasn't that bad a move. I said it might end up being very good. Jerry Jones is good at this stuff. And, you know, hit on Overshown, hit on Ravel. They're both coming back. Went and got what's his name? Logan.
Logan something. Yes, the
Yes,
linebacker.
linebacker. He looked good last night. He went and got Williams, great last night. He went and got
Mm-hmm.
Clark, great, basically the whole season. Bland looks good. He signed him, but then you look over at the and with the Williams trade, he got this is a big part of it. He kept next year's two first rounds, got rid of the next year's first round. So
Mm-hmm.
we're still loaded for this draft coming up. On the flip side, on offense, he got the quarterback locked down. Dak's been elite. He's been elite basically every year outside of 1 year when he was injured. People love to call that year a down year. I don't know, probably because his ankle was hanging by a thread. And then he locked up CeeDee. We're gonna lock up George Pickens
And
hopefully.
Javante was a
Javante, he
low
went
risk,
and
high
got a
reward,
top five running back.
or high risk, high reward, I should say. I mean, you're paying him what, 3.5 million? That's how
Yeah,
much they paid him.
we're gonna have to find a way to pay. I think that because we took such a chance on him, it kind of works in our favor here. He came back from such a dramatic injury that we took a huge gamble on him. We're paying 3 million a year. We gotta pay him something. We gotta do something to keep him. And I think because we took that chance, he might be willing to take less money than what he probably deserves
Mm-hmm.
to stay with this offense, which has proven to be unreal. This team is really in a position now because of the moves Jerry Jones has made. Uh, that next year, if the draft goes how it should, it's D end heavy. Um, so we can use a first round on that. We can move a first round to get more pieces. We're in a very good position thanks to Jerry Jones, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy to say. Really excited for next year. Hopefully this year ends well. Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's looking very good for you guys. And I think the biggest question mark, or the biggest move, I should say, would be Javante. It's you're seeing this a lot in the league where you're paying guys like that, and then they have a good year and they want an absolute exponential growth in a contract, their numbers, and that's a decision Jerry has to make. Is he going to be worth paying 8 to 10 million a year? Like, are you going to take that gamble, or you got Jaden Blue there, you got draft picks. You're going to say it really just comes down to the financial aspect: is can we afford that? Is it smart to do it? You know, Javante was a gamble. He's been around the league for a little bit. Do they see him as a bell cow that's going to continuously do this? We'll see, man. I don't know. It's going to be a tough decision to make. I'm not opposed to bringing, like, I wouldn't be opposed to Jerry making an offer to him, but if it's egregious where it's, 8 to 10 million a year, I don't think that's the case. If it's five, now
Yeah.
we're talking more flexibility. So I think their future is very bright. I really do. And you're gonna have to pay Pickens. You have to pay Pickens. He's not a rental. He's a must stay receiver. You have the way he's looked. He's a top five receiver in the league right now. The way Dak has looked, he's been a top 10 quarterback all season. Like the writing is on the wall, and like Jerry just can't overthink it. You just got to give him the bag. All in all, you got to give him the bag. Pickens deserves the bag more than Javante, and it's nothing on Javante, but be smart. Be smart with it,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with you. All right, let's move on though. A lot of stuff we could talk about from Sunday. Where do you want to start?
Um, let's start.
You want to start in Atlanta?
Yeah, let's talk Atlanta. I like that because I actually watched a decent amount of that game.
All right, let's start in Atlanta. I'll give you the floor to begin.
Dude, Bryce Young is the truth. No more flip flop on this guy.
Let
Okay, no
Mike,
more flip. Go
let
ahead.
I let let's
Can we
start
flip
in
flop
Atlanta.
on him?
Let's
Can we
start at
flip?
Atlanta.
Okay. Let me go with Atlanta first, dude. This team.
Think about what we just did. Everyone and their mom that's listening to this thought we were going to talk about Michael Penix's injury. Kirk Cousins is taking over. I hand the ball off to you. I'm like, Mike, tell us about Atlanta.
I'm so excited about him, bro. You know
And
what? I
all
don't
you
know
had
if
to give us was Bryce Young's the truth.
okay. I give me a moment. I'll talk Atlanta first, and we'll hop over to Bryce. But Atlanta every single year. Shout out to Jay. I know you follow this stuff a lot. I told him this in Georgia when I was down there. Don't sleep on the Panthers. Don't sleep on Bryce Young. Blah blah blah. I'll get to that. Atlanta every freaking year. It's like you look at their team, you look at the players they have, you look at the defensive pieces they have, the coaching. They are, in my opinion, they are built for success.
Mhm.
But for some reason, they just can't get it done. It's every how many times, Muller, how many times have we said this? Atlanta could be a contender for the division. Atlanta could be a contender for the NFC Wild Card. Like it's every single year, dude. They're 3-7. You know, they got blown out by Carolina the first time they meet. You would think they would split the second time. Like, I just don't understand what's going on down there. I really don't. Like, and I guarantee you they're going to win. They're going to win this week. They will. But it's just you got Bijan. I thought Michael Penix has looked solid. You know, not the greatest, but he's delivering great passes to Drake London. The offensive line has been good. They're scoring touchdowns. Tyler Algier is a starter in this league. He's getting his work. Like I don't know if it's crucial mistakes. I don't know if it's the defense folding because like I do think their defense is good too. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. I can't pinpoint what the problems are with that team. I really don't because I look at that team on paper and I think they are a very good team. They are a contender for the playoffs, but I just don't know. I don't know if you give Carolina credit? Do you give the defense like hell? Do you give them heat? Like I can't pinpoint these guys, and it's every single year. When are we going to stop believing in them? Is it time? It was kind of like the Jaguars, you know. They were selling, they were doing great. I mean, I'm talking, 2 years ago, but I just don't know. I don't know where to start with them anymore. I can't form my own opinion on them.
I mean, my thing is that whole division really. Even Tampa Bay, we think very highly of Tampa Bay. I think everyone in the league does, especially because of the way Baker Mayfield's been playing and the way that offense has operated the last 3 years. Like more power to them. But this division, I feel like week to week, every team could lose and every team could win. Even the Saints. Like it's just such a weird dynamic that goes on. It's something in the water down there. The southeastern border of our country just creates chaos when it comes to football. I mean, look at the AFC South. We're talking about the Jags, the Titans, the Texans, and the Colts, right? Yeah, I got all of them. Yeah, dude, that division's crazy. I mean, the Colts, who would have thought the Colts would be 8-2, and who would have thought that the Jags would get absolutely annihilated?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really crazy thing that occurs in the southeast section of our country when it comes to NFL football because the SEC is fantastic. The water never gets to the SEC. Nick Saban's got that thing on locks. But the rest of that football community, once they hit like the age of 23, something happens down there.
No more
They
Fiji
just
water,
like,
bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
They gotta
Fiji
start
water goes
drinking
a long
Miami
way.
Vices.
Yeah, something like that. I know. Yeah, but I agree with you. It's like you expect because like when Atlanta wins, they win and they look damn good, and it's like like this is the potential this team could show if they just do it every week, but they don't do it every week. They'll blow a team out, and then they'll lose to a team like the Saints or the Cardinals, the Panthers. Like it just they go out in Buffalo and they go beat Buffalo, and they look damn good doing it. Then they get blown out. It's just like it's an absolute roller coaster for these guys. I think I'd rather just lose all the time than have a roller coaster like this. Like, it's so hard to watch because it's like Bijan is a top 4 to top 3 running back in this league. Drake London has been playing out of his mind, also another top receiver in this league. It's like, even though those are their two weapons, bro, they are force feeding them and they are scoring. They are scoring. They are moving the ball downfield. But I don't know if it's crucial mistakes, if it's the defense letting up points. I just it's a damn. If you want to talk about a roller coaster of a team, listen, the Jets, they're going to lose every week. The Atlanta Falcons are an absolute shit show of a roller coaster to watch because you think they're going to win every week, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know.
Well, now on top of that, they kind of have a quarterback controversy again because, Michael Penix, I think this is his fifth season-ending injury in the last, what is it, 7 or 8 years?
Bryce, yeah, since Washington.
And, there's questions being asked. Do we stick with Michael Penix or is Kirk Cousins the guy we should be thinking about for the next 5 years? It's a like I listen, I'm not on the train of we should go back to this older quarterback who hasn't played in a
Yeah.
year, but it is a good it's a thing to think about. Michael Penix Jr., he's got two flaws in his game. That's about it. He's a great quarterback otherwise. Flaw number one, accuracy to the boundary. We all know that's been a thing. It's been a thing since he got into the league. He hasn't been the most accurate when he throws to the boundary. Number two, the dude just can't stay on the football field, which is really the number one thing you have to do if you're going to play the game of football. You have to make it onto the field, you know?
Mhm.
So
Now this is
he consistently doesn't do it.
Mhm. Now this is the problem though. It's like if you remember in the draft, they took him number 7 overall. It was the shock of the draft. It was the talk of the town for the 3 days that the draft, was going on.
Yeah.
And but I agree with you. The problem is he cannot stay on the field. But when he does, it's we don't see that elite level. We're not at the elite level yet with Michael Penix. We're at the point where he's still getting the feel. He's still understanding the scheme in the offense and the concepts that are being thrown at him. He's targeting the right guys. I think the IQ is there. He's very smart with the football. He knows what to do with the football, but it's that next step, and what this is his second year starting, essentially, maybe year and a half starting. So you got to give it a little bit of time. I just don't know where else you have to target to help him or like to help the team. That's my thing.
But for me, it's like I have nothing wrong with the way he plays.
Not at
I
all.
think he's
I
a
don't
very
either.
good quarterback, and I think he does do a very good job when he's on the field. The biggest thing, though, is he's not on the field.
Mhm.
Like we're talking about a guy who has had a season-ending injury, serious injury, 5 times in the last, what was it, 7 to 9 years or something? It's somewhere in that range. That's not great,
Yeah.
especially when we're talking about a guy who's supposed to be a franchise quarterback. I mean, we're having these conversations about Jackson Dart right now. Like he's having meetings right now, not about how he's playing, like reads. We're talking about can you protect yourself? Can you stay on
Mhm.
the field? So yeah, there's a lot to think about in that scenario, but we are going to get to see Kirk Cousins operate that offense this week. So that'll be interesting. But let's talk about Bryce Young because
Dude, like
I'm starting to
I
think
don't
very good again.
I don't think we flip flopped on him. Like I've stayed true to my word. Like has he
Yeah.
looked bad at times? Yes, but like I've also, he's looked very good, and like you see it. Like when he has those games, dude, he reminds me a lot of how Darnold was in the Jets because there were games he was seeing ghosts. Then there were games he's looked fantastic. 80% completion rating, 70% diamond around the field. Like dude, he's the answer. I don't think you think twice about it. They are 6-5, dude. They are a game over 500 compared to where they were last year. You bring in Ted McMillan. He's been a solid, solid, solid wide receiver one for him. Jalen Coker is back. You got Tommy Tremble making a play. Jatavion Sanders, starting to get the feel of the game. It's the way he moved in the pocket, the way he he just looked flawless. I thought he was flawless the other day. Escaping the pocket, making the right throws. Great throw to Xavier Legette in the end zone. Like this is why they made that trade. This is why they did it because they saw the potential in this kid to change this organization. Dave Canales. I had a lot of questions about him at the start. I thought he was soft. I didn't think guys like him, they're tacticians. He's like a Mike McDaniel, but they're starting to believe, especially when Dave Canales is seeing the way that Bryce Young is operating in the pocket, operating the offense. Like you trust him. Yeah, like I think you see a higher level of trust now than we did last year. Last year, you had Xavier Legette and Adam Thielen as your receivers. Okay, like Adam Thielen's pretty much he's gonna be on the brink of retirement in the next year or two. But man, he was accurate. I thought he was clutch, like a big overtime win. Enough with the flip flop. Caleb is good. Enough with him. He's going to be the franchise. Bryce Young will be the franchise too. Enough. If they have bad games, they have bad games. If Drake May has a bad game, are we going to say that he's a bust or we're going to start flip flopping on him? JJ McCarthy, the one guy that I said was going to be a bust, it's looking like it, but it's early. I'm not going to call it a bust yet.
So in terms of the bus talk, I mean, whether you like your quarterback or not, whether you like Caleb or not, whether you like Bryce Young or not, whether you like Drake May or not, they like bus don't put up the numbers that those three have in the performances that those three have been doing.
Like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
Mm-hmm. I've always been a huge Bryce Young fan. I think my pinned tweet's still that they're going to make it to the Super Bowl this year, which is still alive. They're in the playoff picture. We are alive there. They got to pull it together and get some wins down the stretch to make it in. But I've been a Bryce Young believer. I think I transitioned you. I think I transitioned Lucas into believing in Bryce Young. Like the kid can play football. He You don't win a Heisman. You don't go to Alabama and dominate the way that he did and then enter the league and not, show some resemblance of a competent quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm excited to watch the rest of the season with that team. I think they're so very young and, they're a team to watch out for next year. I know I said that last year, but next year especially, most of their team's going to be going into year two, especially the main group or year three, year four. Like it's time to really show what you guys can do as a group together. So
But I agree. But this is the problem, though. And this is my last point. Like, we as fans have become so impatient. Okay, excluding Jets fans because they're their own breed. I'm saying that for myself. But like a lot of the fans have become so impatient with, they draft a guy high, they draft him number one, number two overall, and they just expect absolute, the guy to flourish and the guy to just go absolutely berserk. Hold on, I got you. They expect them to just go absolutely insane. But Bryce Young, look at Drake May. Drake May and Bryce Young, their first year in the league, they went what 3-13, 3-14. Terrible. Like you can't judge a guy in his first year when you have, a revolving door of coaches, a revolving door of GMs, a revolving door of personnel and players. Like when you are starting to build something and he's getting the experience, like I honestly, I thought Bryce was good, but like, dude, you can't gauge his first year and just be like, oh, he's not the answer already. Because, dude, there were so many moving pieces. Like to learn a system like that quickly with the players you have that quickly coming out of college, expecting to win what 8 to 10 games, it's just unrealistic. Excluding Jaden Daniels, Jaden Daniels just had a great year. It's rare to see that. Jackson Dart, rare to see that. Like the Giants are still what 2-9, 3-7, 3-8, whatever. So like, you're starting to see the fruits of their labor, especially with the Carolina Panthers, with the Patriots, and the Bears. You're starting to see the progress. You're starting to see them really show what type of quarterback they are, what they bring to the table. We've gotten so impatient as fans when it comes to sports betting, when it comes to fantasy, when it comes to your team itself. It's like everything takes time. Look at Darnold, look at Baker, like look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen's first year, like all these guys have Gino. Like it's not gonna work out well the first year. When the Jets draft Mendoza or they draft Ty Simpson, it's gonna be ugly. But when you wait and you let the process just do its thing, it could potentially be good. With the Jets, I don't know, but that's just my thing. And it's the clear definition of Bryce Young right there. Right there is just letting time take its course.
Well, I want to ask this question because is it a impatience problem or is it a development problem? Are NFL organizations bad at developing quarterbacks, or are we expecting too much of these young kids? Because think about all the first round draft picks that got benched and then shipped away over the last 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Is that on the player or is that on the organization?
For me, like it's a little bit of both, but it's definitely on the organization more. I mean, when you don't have stability, think about when you're drafting these guys. Your team is probably 2-8. They're throwing some, they're firing someone, see you later, thank you. They're throwing them out the door. You're bringing in somebody new. They have their own idea of their concept and scheme and what they want to play. Like, it's an adjustment. Like, it's so rare to just immediately understand how the offense works, how to read, zone coverages in the NFL. We're talking the NFL now. Like,
Mhm.
those teams are, they're getting drafted to these teams for a reason because they're incompetence, the Jets. Carolina's been incompetent. The Saints, the Jaguars, like they're drafting these guys, and it's an organizational it's an organizational problem at its peak because you're gonna have a new coach, you're gonna have a new GM, you're gonna have a new offensive coordinator, you're gonna have a new defensive coordinator. It's not like you're the only time you really got drafted into a good situation, and I can't even really say it is maybe Caleb because he had Eberflus's first year. Boom, he's gone. Bam, they bring in Ben Johnson. And it's immediately, but again, he had a year under his belt to get a feel of the NFL. It'd be different if Ben Johnson was the coach right away in Chicago. We'd have a whole different conversation about Caleb Williams himself.
But okay, yeah, he had a year to say this is the NFL. And now I think he still would have had 2 years with Ben Johnson to see if it was going to work, right? There has to be that adjustment period. You can't just throw these kids who were playing college football, going to frat parties, going to classes, you know, 3 months ago, straight into an NFL game and expect them to be fantastic. Yeah, it happens every now and then, but that's such a irrational thought to have to be like,
Mhm.
oh, we just drafted this kid out of Alabama. He was at Alabama. He's got to be good. He's going to be great. And expect him to, operate at a level that's going to dominate an NFL defense. It's a dumb thought to have. Yeah, it happens, but it's a
Mhm.
dumb thought to have.
And it's not like I'm not saying it's like one out of a thousand chance where a rookie comes in and he just excels off the bat. Like I'm just saying it's a little bit uncommon, where look at Joe Burrow, he comes in and just deals right away. When you have guys that are just that good, Bryce Young come out of college. He doesn't compare to a guy like Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck, Jaden Daniels, same thing. But hey, like it's just it's tough to explain, but like I feel like nowadays the NFL is a lot different. The coaches, the schemes, like it's just so different to be so good right away. And, and that's just my opinion in general. Like I don't know really where else to go with it, but like we're so impatient with it, man. Like when you're seeing these guys, play and go through the growing pains, like I would rather have a guy fail first and then succeed after. Look at all right, for example, like look at the Steelers. Look, they drafted Will Howard, a guy from OSU. Like he's sitting and he's learning. He doesn't have a health problem. Mike Tomlin's probably not going anywhere. The Rooneys love him to death. They're gonna love him until he wants to be done with his career in football. They're gonna probably keep Arthur Smith, possibly. Like it's just when you learn a system and you're there and you're understanding, like you're built for more success rather than here's a new coach, here's a new OC, and boom, here's the rookie. Go ahead and do what you got to do. You drafted him for a reason. It's like you just don't see it. Like it's just not a good recipe. Like the Jets, Aaron Glenn's going to stay. Tanner Engstred's going to stay. We got Brady Cook from Missouri. He's probably going to get elevated, and he's probably going to play some games after Justin Fields is going to get benched. It's like you're going to see these guys get familiar and get better over time. And like it's just we're so impatient now. Maybe this is coming from a Jets fan because it's like it's not going to work when you have a rookie just going in and going 10-7 right off the bat. Like you just don't see it. It's uncommon, I guess. I don't know, but that's just my thought. Like Bryce Young's him. All in all, he's him. Congratulations, Carolina. You found your franchise.
All right, let's move on. A few more topics here before we get our morals out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to get into this AFC wild card picture, and not even necessarily the wild card picture because I have a little bit of a take here. Um, but what do you make of the Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins situation that's starting to unfold? You have the Ravens who probably got to win the division to make it into the playoffs, but they're only 2 games back. They're tied with the Chiefs, who are or they're only a game back, I think, actually. And then you have the Dolphins, who are 2 games back, right? And they're all starting to look a little better. They're all starting to get a little more healthy, but they're kind of on the outs. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Well, Miami, we don't even have to talk about them. They're not making the playoffs. I don't listen. I have nothing against them. I know they're my rival team, but like if you're picking any of those teams to make a wild card, or who's it going to be? It's not going to be Miami over Kansas City and the Ravens. Like the Ravens, this is my thing with them. And I've said this with the Ravens multiple times ever since last year. Like it's just like I feel like they're content every time they have a lead, and it's a problem. And Lamar Jackson, when he's back, you can never count them out. The Chiefs, on the other hand, like they're just a tough team to kind of gauge right now. Like I still think they're legit. They play the Colts this week. That's a big test. I think they win that game, and I think they cover as well. But you're looking, in the position that they're at right now. We probably have about 7 to 8 more games. Anything could happen. The Patriots are going to keep rolling. The Bills, they got the win last week. They're probably 7-3 now, I believe. They're going to continue to roll. It's really you got to look at the wild card. You just got to take every single game one by one. It's going to be a battle. I think I think only one team is going to make that wild card unless the Ravens win the division, which is still in sight. But that's Kansas City's really the only hope right now, in my opinion. Denver's rolling. Denver is rolling. They are hot. They are playing well. Sean Payton's coached those guys up very nicely. I mean, I can't see the Chiefs not making it. I don't know. I can't see them not making it. Until I see it is when I believe it.
So for me, and here's where my take comes in, because I'm glad you said that. Because yes, those three, if I had to believe in one team, it would be the Chiefs. Here's the reason why I don't believe the Chiefs will be the one that gets in. I think two of the teams will get in. I think the Ravens, because of the health of Aaron Rodgers and their schedule, are going to win the division. The Ravens have the easiest next 4-game stretch where they're going to be playing the Jets, the Bengals, Steelers, and Bengals. Assuming that Joe Burrow doesn't come back for one of those, he's supposed to, but assuming he's not back and as sharp as he's supposed to be, assuming Aaron Rodgers' broken wrist holds him out for a few weeks, the Ravens have no excuse to not win those 4 games. Going
Agreed.
into the final 2-game stretch with the Packers and the Steelers, a Packers team that has not been all that impressive recently, a Steelers team that really, they started hot. And ever since Aaron Rodgers started getting hit more in the middle part of the season, they've kind of fallen into the rearview mirror of the AFC. I think the Ravens are going to catch them, and I think they're going to knock the Steelers out of the playoffs. It's going to be a one-team affair for the AFC North this year.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the Dolphins and the Chiefs, because like I said, I think 2 teams are going to get in from these 3. I think the Dolphins have the easiest 4-game stretch they're going to have all year. They're going to be favored in all 4 games. They look like an offense that finally figured out how they have to operate. They should win all 4, leading them into a final 2 games, all or nothing, make or break with the Bucs and the Patriots. Patriots week 18. I'm taking the Dolphins in week 18. The Bucs game is where their season is going to be make or break. Are you going to make it into the playoffs by beating the Bucs, or are you going to knock yourselves out by beating the Dolphins of the beginning of this year? Because if it comes down to those last 2 games, I think the Dolphins get in because the Chiefs have the hardest schedule of the 3 coming down the stretch. You got the Colts this week. You got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. You got the Texans. You got the Chargers. You got the Titans. Titans are shit. You got the Broncos. You got the Raiders, who are feisty. You're going to have 2 games on holidays in that stretch. A Thanksgiving game in Dallas. I don't know who they play, but it's on Christmas. I want to say it's the Chargers, right? The Chiefs should be used to that, but they just don't seem like the Chiefs of old. Yes, I agree with you that the Chiefs should be the team that I should be thinking about to get in before the other 2, but I'm having a very tough time seeing them in a better position than the Ravens and the Dolphins going into those final 2 games, especially because of who they're playing.
But with my thing, like when it comes to the Chiefs, it's like you know what you're going to get with them, but the thing is, they still executed so well. It's not like they were out of that game in Denver. It was a close game. You got to give credit to Denver because they played well and they sealed the deal. They didn't give the ball back to Mahomes with 2 minutes left. They got the first down. They ended the game. Like that's just a great drive by Denver and Bo Nix, who also looks great. The thing is with the Dolphins, like I just don't see them rattling off wins like that. I really don't. Like Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane can only take you so far. That's my thing. And the Dolphins are gonna dolphin, bro. I'm telling you, I would be shocked if I would put money down that they don't win 5 straight. Like I don't see it happening.
Well, Mike, show me which game they lose in the next 4. They play the Saints, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Bengals. And the way it's looking, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be playing for the Steelers. The only one that a quarterback situation is going to be better than Tua is possibly the Bengals if Joe Burrow's back.
Yeah, but again, like I'm not going to take that much.
They're playing 2 teams that are tanking and a Steelers team that is going to be incompetent with Mason Rudolph for the next couple.
But guess what? That defense is good, and that defense will fight, especially when it's cold. If that's in Pittsburgh, it's going to be cold, and that defense is going to rattle him. And Cincy, if Burrow is back, I got to take him. I got to take him. It's just I just don't know if they're going to be living up to that moment. Miami's going to find a way to screw it up, dude. It's gonna happen. Frank the Tank is a fan of that team. They're going to find a way to ruin it. The Chiefs. All it takes is one game for them to get hot. It doesn't matter who they play. They are the Chiefs. They are literally the dynasty. It takes them one game. And I know their schedule is tough, but they're the Chiefs. If Andy Reid and Mahomes are active and they are doing something in the game, I can't count them out. They are favored against the Colts, bro. They are 5-5, -3.5 against an 8-2 Indy team. Is it Vegas not adjusting to maybe what the Chiefs actually are? I don't know. Or it's the Chiefs are the Chiefs and they're going to find a way to win.
Yeah.
I just, when you lose a game like that, something's got to spark up. Like something has to just be like, hey, like we're 5-5. Denver's running away with the division. The Chargers are still hanging around. We need to make our move now. I go with the experience. I go with the better quarterback. I go with the better coach. I just think that is what's going to happen. And but this all depends. All this depends on the AFC North. It depends on the AFC North. Are the Steelers going to win the division? Are the Ravens going to win the division? Or is Cincy going to ruin the day? Are the Browns going to ruin the day for either of those 2 teams? That's what it really all comes down to. Because if the Ravens don't win the division, then my pick is probably going to be the Ravens to take it all and go to get that final wild card spot. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be real interesting to watch because those are the 3 teams, 4 teams, I'll say: Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, Dolphins to watch.
Absolutely. All right. Last thing here. I'm going to let you take the floor here because I feel like you're going to be pretty passionate about this. I'm big on this team. I think the dynasty is back. I think Vrabel's got the boys buzzing. You texted me this morning and you said there's a possibility that we should be putting the Patriots on fraud watch. So I'm going to let you take the floor and elaborate that because they look like the hottest team in football. I believe they're 8-2 now. They're one of a few teams that are 8-2. Drake May looks great. Vrabel's got this team buzzing. Go ahead.
Okay, I think there are like 3-1 against teams over 500. I don't think I saw that. I'm going to be honest. But if you want to talk about like, hold on. My thing is, I don't think they're frauds, but I think the moment might get too big for them when the time comes. And that's not a knock on the Patriots at all. I think that's a knock on the inexperience that the Patriots have when that moment arises. I'm big on that. I'm big on teams that have a lot of it. Look at Philly, bro. They've had experience, one possession games. They've had experience in the playoffs. It's like you ride with those teams because they've been in that position. When the Patriots get to that position, if they even get the bye, if they get that number 2 seed or the number 1 seed, we'll see. Drake May is in his second year. It's not like their players are the best. Keyshawn Booth's starting to come around. Diggs is just there. Pop Douglas has a good game here and there. Hunter Henry's been kind of dying down a little bit. They're very young. I believe in them now. Like right now, like I think they are a legit team. But in the playoffs, I wouldn't be shocked if they took an L by one of these other teams that have been there, like a Denver, like an Indianapolis. I could see, Danny Dimes has been in the playoffs. He's won a game in the playoffs. People forget about that. The Bills, if the Bills get the wild card and they meet them in the first round or the second round, who am I going to take there? I'm taking Josh Allen and the Bills. You're crazy if you don't think I am. Yeah. So they have played a lot of crappy teams and they've won. They've taken care of business. You got to give credit to Vrabel. You got to give credit to Drake May, Josh McDaniel. But I wouldn't say they're frauds yet. It was just kind of an idea that, hey, like, let's not crown these guys as Super Bowl champions yet, okay? Because there are still a lot more games to be played. The injuries happen. Hopefully they don't. But once playoff time comes, because they're going to be favored. They're probably going to be favored by a lot of these teams. They meet the Chiefs in the playoffs, dude. I'm taking the Chiefs. Like experience wins over time. We've seen the Chiefs and the Eagles repeat Super Bowl appearances. And there are probably teams that were better than them that we thought were better than them. I thought the Rams were better than them when they played. The Chiefs, I thought the Ravens were better when they played them. I thought the Bills were better when they played them. So when we look back on this episode and that time comes, I know who I'm betting. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I like it. Let's get into the morals then.
Come on.
All right. Last week, we both went 1-1. That's on me. I thought the Bengals were going to do something. They absolutely did not. So hand up. That's on me. But I do want to point out, you're very consistent right now. You're 6-5 in both the spreads and the over-unders. You've had a cold streak here with the spreads. 1-5 in your last 6 weeks. But I am no better in terms of the over-unders. I'm 2-3 in the last 5 weeks here. So we got to dial it back in. We got to bring it back in. All right, for spreads, I'm 8-3, so I'll still have the first pick here. I know for a fact you're not taking this team. So I'm just gonna take it real quick.
I have 3 in my mind.
Oh Lord. All right. There's no chance you took this. The Steelers are going to be without Aaron Rodgers this week. I don't trust Mason Rudolph. For some reason, I've come to absolutely trust the Bears and what they're doing. I think the Bears cover 2.5 this week, and they get a statement win out there in Pittsburgh and keep this train rolling. They're first place in the NFC North for a reason. Caleb Williams is a top 10 quarterback for a reason this year. We're taking this thing all the way to the playoffs. Bears minus 2.5.
Nice. I like that.
Shout out to Luke.
I have Luke's picks as well. I gave him the 4. He's 5-1. I feel like
we'll just keep Ryan his picks till he
he's been fantastic, and you got to give credit to Luke Dobb. Shout out to you. So I'm stuck between 3, but I'm gonna. I like all of the bird animal teams this week. Okay, I like them all. I like the Cardinals to cover. I like the Eagles to cover. I do. I'm sorry. It's a birds week. I'm riding with the birds.
Parlay? The bird parlay?
I think the bird parlay is the one that hits this week. I might put one in for them. I think Atlanta gets the win, but I'm going to go to Thursday. The Bills just covered. They're starting to get hot again. They're favored in Houston. Houston's plus 5.5. Their defense has been very, very, very good. I'm going to take the home dog with the points. Yep. On Thursday, I'm going to take Houston plus 5.5. They screwed me earlier this year, but on Thursday, I feel like people think it's going to be a blowout. I'm kind of just riding the home team right now. I like them at home on a primetime game. Out. I know he is.
Okay.
But I'm going to take the 5.5. Davis Mills was all right anyways, but I like the defense, and I still think the Bills are vulnerable when it comes to their defense. They are vulnerable. I think, special teams was a problem for Buffalo. It's going to come down to those raunchy plays that you don't really expect. So I'm going to take Houston plus 5.5. Luke, on the other hand, I'll mention his pick right now since I have him here. Yeah. Luke, where is it? He likes Baltimore minus 13.5 against the Ravens. That is his pick for the spread. I don't know why.
13.5 against the Ravens.
Correct. Against the Jets. I'm sorry. Baltimore minus 13.5 against the New York Jets. Do I blame him? Not at all.
Nope.
That's his pick for the spread.
I like that. I'm going to swing it back to you for the over-under.
All right. So I am going to take I'm going to go to another primetime game. It's going to be a Monday night game. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to keep riding with the unders. I've been very, very good with them. I'm going to take the under in that game. It's going to be, I think it's 48.5 is the under. 48.5 is the under. I'm going to ride with that one. Carolina, San Francisco, Monday night.
Under 48.5.
Under 48.5. Robert Saleh's defense it's been spectacular. They're 7-0 when they hold their opponents to under 25. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to be a little stumped this game.
Yeah.
I'll take the under there.
Do we have a stat on Bryce Young after a game that he throws for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions?
No, but I'm assuming he's probably not going to do the same, so I'm going to take San Fran.
That's what I was thinking, so I agree with
or
you.
With the under.
All right, I'm actually gonna fly back out here. I don't even know if this game's in Cleveland or Vegas. Does not matter to me. Shador Sanders is starting, and that dude only played in games that points were scored in college. The dude loves points. He came into the game last week, and it was just a points fest at the end. The over/under set at 36.5. Vegas couldn't do shit on offense against the Cowboys defense, who was horrible. You got to think they come out and do a little bit better against Cleveland, even though Cleveland's a little better on defense. I'm taking the over 36.5. I think this game could cover 50.
Yeah, that's a low spread. That's a low over under. Very low. I mean, Geno stinks, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And then Luke?
Luke, he has the over in the Eagles-Cowboys game, 47.5. Big over game. I like the under in that game, but Luke's been hot. I'm going to ride with him.
I don't hate that, actually, because you got to think Dallas is probably – like, Dallas is going to have to score probably 25 to 30 points to win.
It's really just banking on the Eagles. Like, are the Eagles going to finally show what their offense is capable of doing? We've waited. I mean, we're waiting a while. Time is ticking.
Yeah, but once again, I'm sending it back to you because you've been on fire with the money line pick. So give me your pick.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the Monday night game. I'm gonna take San Fran straight up. I think they've been kind of rolling recently. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's one of those, higher. It's probably like minus 300.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep giving out wins. I'm gonna keep giving out wins on the money line. San Fran is the one that's gonna do it. I love Bryce Young, but in San Francisco, that offense is strong. I think Brock Purdy is playing too. I'm gonna give them the win there. That's a tough game for Carolina.
Yeah, so we've actually taken the 49ers 3 times this year, and we are 3-0 when taking them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good omen right there. I like that pick. I'm actually going to take the Falcons money line. I like what you said earlier in the show. Kirk Cousins is going to step in, and it's almost like it's like a get right game. A lot of negativity down there right now. I think they come out and win by a score. So I'm taking the Falcons.
Luke, he is on the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. The Cardinals are so bad. Kyler Murray's a joke. He's going to be your quarterback next year, but he's
I'll lose it. Dude, stop. Birds parlay, dude. I'm telling you, Carolina or the Cardinals are going to cover. Do you hear me talking about the Cardinals like this? They're going to cover. It's the Birds team parlay this week. I'm calling it now.
All right. I'm in on that. I got you. The Birds parlay. Birds parlay is going to hit probably more often than our parlay. But
it hits once every couple years, and everyone's forgetting about it. I think it happens this week. I really do.
I like it. I think that's a good place to end the show.
Yeah, that was good. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good weird games last week. A lot of weird games. A lot of dogs again. I really hope it's not a favorites week because I took a shitload of dogs. I took a lot of underdogs. So we'll see what happens, man. We're getting in the nitty gritty of football. Thanksgiving coming up. It's going to be a great time to watch football. Exciting, very exciting. Playoffs are soon, man. The season's flying by. So
yeah,
one day closer to the draft.
Yeah. All right, like, comment, and subscribe. We got to get to 500 before Christmas. So let's do this thing. Mike, I'll see you.
Mahler, see you later. Like and subscribe.
Lex is screaming at me to get dinner, so I got to go. All right. See ya.